Hey team, it's Sarah here. How are you today? Hopefully you're doing fabulous. Now, today I want to talk to you about my 6 simple tips to help you lower your cholesterol and how to help you ensure that your levels are in the right zone. Now, cholesterol has been demonized over the years for its damaging effect on our cardiovascular health. But it's not all bad. In fact, it actually plays an important role in our bodily processes that without it, you simply would not exist. For instance, our cell walls are made from cholesterol. It is also needed to produce vitamin D and hormones, and it forms a key part of bile acids, without which we couldn't digest fats. So to say we would fall apart without cholesterol is actually no exaggeration. In recent years, our understanding about cholesterol and how to tackle it has shifted. Sometimes it's actually quite a significant shift. For a start, we used to think that our diet was a major contributor, but now we know almost 80% of cholesterol is in fact made in the body, in the liver. So this means that foods such as eggs, which are naturally rich in cholesterol, are actually back on the menu for most people. I say most people. That's a good thing, as they're the powerhouse of nutrients. Another thing is that there are more forms of cholesterol than we used to think. Isn't it wonderful as research comes out, more and more information is available to us? When people refer to their cholesterol level, they normally mean their total cholesterol. And this actually comprises of, not that I agree with these wordings, but good high density lipoprotein or HDL cholesterol, which carries the cholesterol back to the liver to be recycled or broken down and removed from the body. And then you have the bad low density lipoprotein or the LDL cholesterol. We now know that there are also subtypes of those LDL with different sizes and densities. The smaller ones more dense and are thought to be most likely to cause problems as they can squeeze into those gaps and vaults in the blood vessels that the bigger types cannot. So we got little ones, hard, bigger ones, more buoyant. There are some things that affect your cholesterol that are totally outside of your control. So women tend to have lower levels than men, thanks to estrogen, which increases HDL cholesterol until the menopause, when the tables can actually turn. But there are other factors that you can absolutely do something about. So today I'm going to share with you my 6 tips to ensure that your cholesterol levels are actually in the right zone. First one, you know I like poop. Keep your bowel movements regular. Cholesterol is used to form bile acids, which breaks down fats in food. As your meal passes through your small intestine, it's mixed with a squirt, I love that word, squirt of bile acids, and these are later then reabsorbed further down the intestine and are then returned into the liver. But if you're constipated, these cholesterol-rich bile acids linger for longer in the intestine, so more cholesterol can then be reabsorbed, which then pushes up your levels. A study in the American Journal of Medicine in 2011, which involved more than 70,000 postmenopausal women, found that those who were constipated were more likely to have heart disease. And it seems likely this mechanism is at least partly to blame. At least. If constipation is a problem, I want you to focus on getting 2 litres of fluid a day, eating 50 grams of prunes or 2 kiwis with the skin on a day, because that can be beneficial. Psyllium husk, which is available from the health food stores, and some chemists can also help too. Mix half a tablespoon with water and drink daily. Number 2, my tip number 2, eat plant sterols and stanols. These natural compounds are found in plants, and what's brilliant about them is that they're shaped like cholesterol. They're just the geek in me here. So eating them actually helps trick the body into absorbing less cholesterol in the gut, so more is expelled in your poop. So good sources of these would be things like vegetable oils, grains such as breads, cereals, seeds, nuts, legumes, fruits and vegetables. A healthy diet would contain around 400 milligrams, enough to maintain general health. But I want you to think more in the line of 2 grams to actually reduce LDL significantly. To do this, you could try a sterol-enriched product, such as yogurt drinks, which actually provide that amount per portion. My tip number 3, avoid partially hydrogenated oil. Most people know to swap saturated fats such as butter and steak for unsaturated fats found in things like olive oil and oily fish. But a little butter or cheese now and then is fine. Remember, everything is about balance. Our liver cells have those LDL receptors, and when LDL passes into the blood, these receptors help remove it, taking it into the liver to be broken down. Research is suggesting that eating too much saturated fat stops those receptors working so well, and then thus allowing that cholesterol to build up. Another type of fat called partially hydrogenated fat or trans fat increases circulating levels of total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol, while also reducing the good HDL cholesterol, so the damage is twofold. Food manufacturers use trans fats because they extend the shelf life of packaged baked goods. While they are being phased out, they haven't disappeared entirely. So avoid products with partially hydrogenated on the label. Tip number 4 is have beans daily. A daily portion of legumes, butter beans, black beans, chickpeas, kidney beans, whatever takes your fancy, will feed your gut bacteria, which in turn will actually help digest cholesterol. A study by Harvard University in 2021 found that people with certain gut bacteria, including the lactobacillus and the bifidobacterium families, have lower cholesterol than those with less of these bacteria. So eat up the beans. Tip number 5 is exercise until you're out of breath. Exercise increases the levels of enzymes that take LDL to the liver. It's also thought to increase the size of the proteins that carry the cholesterol molecule, and bigger molecules are less likely to squeeze into the gaps in blood vessel walls and create problems. Researchers at Duke Medical Center in the US found that any exercise was better than none, but moderate exercise, which they took to be the equivalent of 12 miles of jogging or walking a week, was less effective than 20 miles jogging, i.e. the more the better. Another study published in the International Journal of Sports Medicine in 2016 found that regular high-intensity interval training HIIT training, which is short bursts of intense exercise interspersed with breaks, boosted women's HDL cholesterol levels by 21% after just 3 weeks. For suggestions on how to do this, you can search online for HIIT or just ask me about HIIT workouts. My number 6, my last one, is get your oats. Whether served as porridge or cold as homemade granola, oats are the breakfast of kings for bringing down cholesterol. Their magic ingredient is the beta-glucan, a soluble fibre that forms a really thick gel in the gut, which reduces the absorption of cholesterol. It also boosts excretion of bile acids, so reducing further the amount of cholesterol that's recycled. Eating about 3 grams of beta-glucan a day can cut your LDL levels by around 7%, according to research. A 40-gram bowl of porridge contains around 2 grams. Boost your intake further by using oats instead of plain flour in recipes, and eat oat-based snacks. Now, there's a question I often get asked, which is, I have an aversion to certain vegetables. Really? Are there certain supplements that would actually meet the same criteria? It would certainly make my job so much easier if there was a supplement that could replace vegetables. But unfortunately, even the super green powders that are high price, super duper special superhero that are available now don't actually feel or fill that vegetable void. And that's because there are tens of thousands of plant compounds known as phytochemicals contained within vegetables, and many of these are damaged during the processing and extraction processes, which is used to manufacture these supplements. So rather than spending our money on supplements, the real secret is to make more vegetables and make them more appealing. For example, try roasting them in the oven with olive oil, adding a little bit of paprika or garlic powder, or sneaking them into pesto. I use Brussels sprouts to make a pesto, blitz them with fresh basil, walnuts and lemon juice, olive oil, and Parmesan cheese, unless you're going dairy-free. By dressing up vegetables in this way, after a few months, your taste buds will become more accepting of them, even in the undressed form. In the undressed form, we know we like it. That's the beauty of our taste buds. We actually have to train them to enjoy foods that we didn't actually think we liked. So, happy tipping, happy undressing. Let me know if this resonates with you and if my tips helped. I love you guys as always. Let me know what you're doing with your vegetables, how you're pooping. We got this. I love you.